Jeff, are you ready? So look at that, we're going to get started 1 minute early. My name is Paul Langen. I'm the coordinator of the new media program here at Finger Lakes Community College. The class that has produced all these projects is the Team Capstone class. And this year we did something unique. Normally we have independent capstone classes with specific programs, so game programming and design, web, mobile, and new media. And this is the first year what we decided to do is actually combine all three programs so we would all be part of the same capstone. It gives us the ability to utilize skill sets from three different programs to produce a more robust overall project, which hopefully you had a chance to explore a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about the process for this class. Everyone comes in, as far as the game programming and design students aren't very familiar with all the new media students, but they know the web and mobile. Web mobile knows the new media students. So for some people it's the first time, but there's a lot of overlap. A lot of people know each other. But the first thing we do is everyone pitches ideas to a panel, and the panel consists of someone from computer science, communications, graphic design, new media, and we have all of these people together, and everyone pitches their idea, and then several projects are selected by the panel. So the projects you see here are the projects that were selected by the panel, and then the group works as a team throughout the semester to actually develop it. So there's a lot of crossover. Some people will jump on 3 projects. You'll see several people on almost all the projects when you're up here, and that just allows them to utilize their skill sets. So we had 5 projects picked this year, and we'll start right now with what happened to Mr. Stuffins, and we're going to do Shay Carr. You can clap.
Hello, I'm Shay Carr. I'm the project lead for What Happened to Mr. Stuffins. I want to start off just by introducing everybody that worked on the project, starting with my co-lead.
I'm Zachary Johnson. I was the co-lead.
Hi, I'm Tegan Solomon Lent. I was the lead programmer.
Hello, my name's Liam Heatherly, and I was the website programmer.
Hello, my name is Jared King, and I was the writing assistant.
So we want to start off with the big question. What even is Mr. Stuffins? So it's a 2D point-and-click adventure game, and if you don't know what that is, it's pretty self-explanatory. The player uses, the environment around them. They navigate it using a keyboard and, a mouse and sometimes a keyboard. This is meant for casual gamers, not exactly just for kids. It can be kind of wordy at points, so not meant for somebody that doesn't really know how to read, like a child that doesn't know how to read. And you play as a young girl trying to find her stuffed animal. We started this back in February. Our idea was pitched to the panel, it got chosen, and then the week after we started assigning roles and basically assigning everything that needed to be done. And in the first week of March, our first prototype was created in Unity, and we basically, we set, it was a very bare bones prototype, and you'll see it soon. And we basically decided what we liked, what we didn't like. And then as time went on, I managed to complete the script for, the game's story, March 21st. And by that, then we were able to really start creating the game, putting everything together once I got that script done. And by April 25th, the first half of the game was completed. Then we did, we tested it out, we saw if there were any like bugs. And then we eventually did the second half of the game, and that was finished May 9th. I'm going to pass the clicker off to Liam Heatherly, and he will talk about his part.
Hello, my name's Liam Heatherly. I created the website for Mr. Stuffins. The purpose of the website is to house and promote the game. I used HTML and CSS and Adobe Dreamweaver to develop it. We decided to go with a fixed layout since the game is optimized for PC. We made the game WebGL to maximize accessibility or increase or widen our audience. And it's also more convenient to just open a website than to download the game. Here I have some of the prototypes versus the finalized version. Here is the home screen with on top the prototype and the finalized version on the bottom. And then here's the prototype and the finalized version for the introduction page. And then finally the credits page, the prototype and the finalized version. And for those who don't know, this is what Adobe Dreamweaver kind of looks like. So this is the program I use to program the website. Next up is Tegan.
Hi, my name is Tegan Solomon-Lent. Like I said before, I was the lead programmer for this project. So I got all the core systems running, all the dialogue, the inventory system, all the sequencing to make it all correct, got all that implemented actually into the game so you could see it. Built the locations based on the script they gave me, and just general bug fixing and whatnot. On the left here, you can see a picture of Unity, which is the program I used to create this game. That was my general workspace that I spent most of this project in. On the right, there is the quality assurance document that we all pitched in with to find bugs and help me deal with them quickly. Going into the project, I had thought, honestly, how hard could it be? I was thinking about setting up menus, prototyping things that we need, like a dialogue system, like items, doors, stuff like that. Thought I had it all under control, and felt good about the prototype. The answer was actually quite hard, unfortunately. Midway through, when I started actually implementing the game itself, things weren't going great. We had functionality that we didn't have. We had things that I didn't know we needed, and we had bugs that were propping up because it didn't scale very well into the final project. So I basically had to redesign most of it from not the ground up, but close. But in the end, we got a working game, as I hope you had the chance to play. Once we got new systems in place and a new workflow going, everything started falling into place. We started actually being able to get into the game, and then eventually we got day one done. We got to test things as the whole team. And yeah, it was an uphill battle. We had a couple major hiccups along the way, but in the end, it all worked out. Now on to Jared, who is the writing assistant for the project.
Hello, I'm Jared King. As previously stated, I was the writing assistant for What Happened to Mrs. Stuffins. Basically, what would happen is Shay would write a script similar to this and would send it to me just so I could look over it, see if there was any issues with the script itself, and then I would send it back, and we would use the script that we both agreed on. After me, though, is the co-lead, Zachary Johnson.
Hi, I'm Zachary Johnson again. I was the co-lead. My main role was basically just to make game assets as well as design Mr. Stuffins, who's essentially the MacGuffin you're searching for in the game. So this is just a general layout of different artwork I did. But essentially, Shay would give me a list of just random things to create, and I'd go down the list and make random stuff. So this is actually going to go through the design process of how I came up with Mr. Stuffins. So on the top right there, I basically sent Shay, hey, here's all these random stuffed animals I made. which one do you like the best? And she chose the rabbit. So I made a bunch of rabbit variations over here. She liked the leopard, and down here are the final designs for Mr. Stuffins. And speaking of Shay, I'm gonna hand it off to her.
Oh, no, I'm not.
So I use Clip Studio Paint to basically make all the designs, and over here is a graphics tablet, which just lets me basically draw on the computer screen a lot easier. Now I'm gonna hand it off to Shay.
Thank you. So as the project leader, I had basically my role was to determine the overall design of the game. So I wrote the game script, I wrote the story for it. Then I created some of the artwork, I did the character sprites, and I did some backgrounds. And I also collected royalty-free music and sound effects. Here we have the very first character concepts that I made back when I first thought of this idea. And I really just wanted to show like kind of like a town. And so once the project got picked, I started to improve upon these original concepts. I added more characters. And then I went into Adobe Illustrator to basically digitize sort of the cast, and I added color to them, and now we have this wonderful little set of characters. This is an example of one of the backgrounds. It's in the house. This is a living room, and you have the initial sketch that I created, and I kind of wanted to show in the final design this kind of like house, this sort of like environment that looks real but also a little bit surreal. So you have this kind of like, I went to royalty-free image websites and I got like a blank house background, and then I used Photoshop to change the color of it. And then I used Illustrator to add all of these different cutouts that I got from different images. Here is just like the UI of the game. Again, we have another sketch that I created. And then we have our finalized version. And as you can see, there's, all the color and stuff, and some things have changed. We've added things like the magnifying glass and the book bag. And here is a quick demonstration of the actual game itself. So right now I am in the neighborhood, and this is one of the areas you can explore using the keyboard. So you use the A and D keys to sort of, move around. And right here we have the neighbor, and if you click on him, it'll say I should give him, his daughter's pacifier. You exit off of that, and you have the magnifying glass up here, which isn't really used at this particular moment, but if you click around, you'll notice that says that there's nothing there, because there's nothing in particular that you're really searching for, because you actually have already found the pacifier back on the hill. So what you want to do is drag this, you click it, and then you drag it to the neighbor, and then that will trigger this dialogue, and you basically talk to him and stuff. And usually on this little dialogue, this little box, you'll usually see different options, but in this particular moment, you don't have any other options other than goodbye, which exits you out of the conversation. But you can click back on him, and it'll take you back there, and yeah, and then you can go into the house here, and that's basically it.
issues. The game didn't work quite right when we put it on the web, so we had to retool it to what you see there. And we're probably going to find some way of getting that out there via the website.
Yes?
You could change one thing about the game. If you could, what would you change?
See, that's an interesting question. I would probably change. I would do a very similar, game, like a point and click adventure game, but maybe I'd change up the story just a little bit. Maybe I'd add multiple endings. Maybe that was something we originally wanted to do, but we never got around to doing. So, yeah. Okay, one more question. Yes?
From the issues that arose throughout the development of this game, what would you have done differently in the beginning to kind of get by those issues?
Do you want me to answer this one?
Yeah. That's probably a good one.
I attribute most of the problems in the development of this game to a sort of like waterfall kind of design of it, where I kind of try to plan everything out beforehand, get everything ready, and then I would just Lego block the game together in the end. I think that was really the downfall. I should have really tried to implement maybe the first few screens to figure out what I would need, and then kind of build the game more gradually and more organically so that I could really understand what was going wrong here, what needed to scale up there, that sort of thing. So I think planning was the biggest thing that I would have changed to alleviate the problems.
Okay, thank you so much for having us. Next up is Dustin Harris with Familiars.
All right, hello. I'm Dustin Harris. I was the project manager of Familiars, which is a creature collector card battler game. Think of Pokemon, but instead of battling with 4 moves, you have a whole card deck to choose from. And now I would like to have the rest of the crew introduce themselves and what they did.
Hello, I'm Joe Maffei. I'm the lead programmer as well as the co-lead of this project.
I'm Zachary Johnson. I was one of the artists on this project.
I'm Caden Cole, and I was the level designer. I'm Isaiah, and I was the audio engineer for this project.
I'm Cole, and I was a programmer.
And I'm Kobe Lecrae, and I was a programmer as well.
Right, so I was the project manager and I took on a few different responsibilities for the game. I ended up designing over 40 cards for the game. I developed 4 different play styles that were unique between each familiar so that they would all have a unique feel and play for the player. I also drew all the designs for the familiars that you could play as and collect in the game. I also helped marginally with the coding. I created a very bare bones layout of how I wanted the battle system to work out. I also would take concept art that was handed to me and finalize it so that everything looked like it was from the same place. And I also organized the group. This is just a brief overview of what I did coding-wise. It's not much, it's just methods to shuffle, to hold a hand, to discard, to reshuffle your deck after you're done, things like that, and just some architectural stuff that I wanted in the game. And these are the 4 final designs for the familiars that I drew out for the game. And also I was responsible for doing the card art for the game. Basically, I needed to create a visual representation of what the character was doing based on the card art and what it does. And I made everything in Clip Studio. And this was the final bit of stuff that I did for the game. Basically, towards the beginning, I would ask for concept art of what they thought their interpretation of it would be. And then I would take that design and I would just finalize it so that it was homogeneous. And then I will hand it off to Joe.
Oh, so what I did was programmed a lot of the overworld systems, how the player moves. I started working on a save and load system. I was not able to finish that in time, unfortunately. I also implemented the animations for the player, which you see when you're walking around, as well as the dialogue system. Additionally, I maintained the GitLab repository, which was how we maintained version control and made sure everything worked properly together, version to version to version.
I'm Zachary Johnson again. I first made the concept art for Familiars. Over here were two that weren't picked, and at the top was the turtle that you see in the game now. I was also the designer of the character sprites, the NPC sprites. Over there you can actually see like a GIF of them, and under them you can see the tile map, which I brought an A sprite over here and actually was able to animate and hand off to them.
Hi, I'm Cole. I designed in the structure for the card database, and I also developed a unfortunately unimplemented inventory system. On the two on the bottom here, you could see a bunch of code that I worked on, and then like how it looked in Unity. Basically, I made all that code, and then that's how I labeled all the cards in Unity. And up at the top right there is how the unimplemented inventory system looked. And I'm passing it to Caden.
So I'm Caden again. I worked on the level design. I also, however, worked on tile sets for the stage that you see, and I used A sprite to also make the tile set right here. And a tile set is essentially an image that's spliced up into segments that you can go into in the game editor, and you can paint them onto a sort of canvas, and you can create your game world with that. And here's an example here of what of the editor, and this is how I put the world together, the one that you walk around in. And yeah, and then I will hand it off to Isaiah.
Right, so I'm Isaiah again. I'm the audio engineer for this project. And essentially what that is I selected the theme music. Like Dustin would give me a description of kind of what he wanted for certain themes, like a resting theme or a battle theme and stuff like that. And I would go find stuff on royalty-free websites such as Pixabay. And I also created the sound effects for the game. I used both sound effects I found on royalty-free sites like the aforementioned Pixabay, and I also made my own sounds, which is known as Foley. I used Adobe Audition for a lot of these sounds because it's a software that I have used before, that I am familiar with, that I am comfortable with. And I also used GarageBand because I wanted this sort of to have a music feel to it. And now I just wanted to play a couple of the sounds I made for you.
What? Is it turned down?
It's not turned down. Okay, so this is sort of an attack thing. I wanted to get some rhythm, so that's sort of where the music sound came in. It's just pretty much me just clapping, each one louder than the last. Alright, so this one is Unnatural Focus. So this card was sort of where you took damage away from the enemy and used it for your own good. So I took a heart monitor sound effect, like you would hear in a hospital. I reversed the audio, added some reverb to it to sort of represent the overall theme of the card. And now I will hand it off to Cole.
Hi, I'm Kobe. I was the programmer, or one of the programmers. The thing I did was implement the battle system UI and the turn-based combat, and I also implemented the card animations and the hand system that you see in the battle UI. On the left you can see a prototype version of the battle UI, and on the right is the finished version.
And that's about it we have for our presentation. I'd like to open us up now to questions.
What was the name Familiars come from? Where did that come from?
So familiars is like a magical term for just like a creature that's bound to you. And I just, I thought it fit. We have a bunch of magic creatures, so. Sure.
What was the biggest challenge you faced in this process?
I'm sure everyone's going to have a different answer for that. I'll say mine and then I'll hand it off. I think definitely for me, when I started off on the project, I knew I was going to be working with multiple artists. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to create all the designs for the familiars and all the characters to be as simple as possible, the least amount of lines needed. But that ended up backfiring on me because it ended up being difficult to put those characters in perspective and maintain the same look and the same simplicity. I'll hand it off to, I don't know if you want to hear from everyone else. I'll have everyone else talk. Cool.
Probably the difficult part for me specifically was figuring out when I was originally doing the database, I was trying to figure out how to basically I ended up making it a lot more complicated than it probably should have been, and then I found out that there was, and then when I was working on it, when I was originally working on the database, I basically, when I was creating it, I basically just made the problems I was having with it a lot more complicated than it was, and then when all the solutions to the problems I was having were pretty simple.
Not Joe.
For me, my biggest problem was probably time management. I found I had a lot of relatively complex systems to put together, and ultimately ran out of time putting a lot of them together.
My biggest problem was perhaps making sure you don't run into invisible walls because of how the tiling is handled. There's a collision layer and a decoration layer, and it's hard to distinguish between the two in the editor. So I was always accidentally creating invisible walls.
My biggest challenge is probably doing the sprite art itself. I'm not really accustomed to sprite art, so I kind of had to learn it during this project. But I had like 6 characters I had to make, fully animate them and whatnot. It was kind of daunting, but it all worked out in the end. So
my biggest issue with the project was that sometimes the cards that I was making sounds for would just got kind of repetitive. It was like another attack card. What do I do this time? Nothing that was overly difficult though.
I would say the hardest thing I ran into was trying to hook in the battle UI to the other combat systems that were implemented. There's lots of different systems like cards, and the database for the cards, and animations, so I had to tie all that together in the end product.
I have a question. Was a slide card blue script. ID number 4, title was fractal recursion. Can you explain that please?
So basically, the ID for each of the cards I made each. There's actually originally how it was. There was like each card is like a different color. So I made each scripts for each of the different colored cards, and the ID is basically just to help with actually sorting through the different cards to. It was to help basically when you programming and you have basically an easy metric like a number to you basically get it off of you can basically it's referencing the number rather than the name, and a number like a 4 is a lot easier to reference than fractal recursion.
So I was curious about your title. Why did you name it fractal recursion? Is there something in the program which used the recursion?
Yeah, so the name of the card was Fractal Recursion. It was for the little crystal turtle thing. Basically, the card takes cards in your hands and reshuffles them and basically duplicates them. So you're recurring what you had. I just thought it was cute.
This was one I saw in the other group. How do you manage to do 2 projects at the same time?
I did a lot more than 2, man. You will see us in more than one project.
Crazy time management skills. It really just came down to blocking out time to work on different projects. There were a lot of sleepless nights, and I made it work.
Sure.
A question from Dave on the YouTube live stream. I'm curious about why the inventory system didn't make it into the final product.
I think it was just because of where we were at crunch time. We really needed everyone to just make sure that the combat system was implemented. rather than dealing with story things like the inventory system would be used for. We really wanted to get the main part of the project, which was the card battling, to work. All right. Thank you very much for listening. I'd like to introduce Brian Tones' Dragon Dungeon project now.
Hello, I am Brian Tones. I am the project lead for the game Dragon's Dungeon. The game is a 3D isometric dungeon crawler game set in a fantasy-style dungeon where you are up against a dragon and its army of skeleton minions. It was developed in Unity, mostly using assets from the Unity store. I was the project lead as well as the main level designer, and I also did some programming and mostly asset implementation.
Hi, I'm Kobe LaPrade. I was the project co-lead and also the lead programmer.
Hi, I'm Jared King. I made 2D and 3D models for the game.
Taking something on that, I made a 3D model of the dice for the battle system.
Hi, I'm Kyle Weissar, and I developed the website that houses the game.
So as the main gameplay programmer, my job was to get all the systems up and running and working together so there was an actual game as opposed to just a bunch of models sitting around. So on the left you can see a screenshot of the first gameplay test, which had some of the basic features like the selector and rolling dice. On the right is a finished gameplay screenshot with all the different mechanics implemented. Right here is a video of some of the gameplay. As you can see, at the bottom there's a next turn button, and as the button is pressed, you progress through the level, attacking, then the enemy attacks, next turn. There's also a dice rolling mechanic. So at the top left you can see the player's roll and the enemy's roll. I also implemented the inventory system, which was probably the most difficult system to implement. On the left you can see an initial sketch, and then on the right is what it looks like in game.
As the primary level designer, I created, at the beginning of the project, I created this diagram essentially to showcase how the game would progress. And I color-coded each section, with blue being the entrance hallways, orange being like the cave or mine area, light red being the actual dungeon part of the dungeon, and dark red being the final dragon's lair. And the green squares represent the merchant rooms that act as sort of checkpoints. Here you can see 4 examples of the levels from each section. The top left is the main atrium of the dungeon hallway. The top right you can see one of the cave junctions. At the bottom left, you can see the entrance to the dungeons. And at the bottom right, you can see the final dragon's lair. The level transitions were made between both Kobe and I, and are essentially scripted triggers placed at the doorways that the player walks through. When they're detected, it functions as both a camera switcher and a level switcher to either move the camera to the next scene or load the next level and move the player to it. The artwork is mostly using Unity assets from the asset store, but for some custom models like the dice and the inventory items, we had our team members step in to work on them.
Yeah, on the left side you can see the original multicolored dice they had in. So they had me make a model, which is the one on the bottom there, more like wood, more fitting of the aesthetic of the game.
And on the right side of the screen you can see the original placeholder sprites for the inventory system, and I was asked to make new similar sprites for the inventory system, which you can see below that.
So I developed the website that houses the game in Microsoft's Visual Studio Code. It's developed using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I started off approaching Brian with just the picture on the left. I just took Microsoft Paint, made some boxes, and said, hey, do you like this layout? Is this something you want to do for it? So when he gave me the approval, I started to work. I tried to make it have that kind of dungeon theme, so the website itself kind of looks like the dungeon that the game takes place in. As you can see in the middle, there's a screen of JavaScript, and what that's doing is activating those signs that swing for the navigation on the website when you hover over them with your mouse.
And that is all. Any questions? Oh, yes?
Is there something that you didn't implement that you still wanted to?
Yes, actually. In the dungeon hall part, there was a sequence where you would have had to collect keys from enemies to unlock a door at the end, but we didn't have time, so we ended up scrapping the system.
They need 2 more questions before they can step down.
Yes?
Pete?
Yeah.
Okay, what happens if you die? Do you go back to the checkpoint? Or?
You restart the game, get sent back to the main menu, and there's a death screen.
Okay.
Right.
Did making a 3D game add like a level of complexity to it?
I'd say so, yes. There's the degree of having to accommodate for 3D models and the cameras in different positions. All right, well, thank you very much. Next up is Jared King with Table Flipping Simulator.
Hello. I don't like doing intros, so we're just gonna get right into it. This is Table Flipping Simulator, made by me and Kyle Washar. That's the wrong get, didn't I?
We'll get there.
So what is Table Flipping Simulator? It is a 3D VR, fast-paced, level-based table flipping video game. To elaborate a little bit more on that, basically what happens is that you are dropped into a level, which is an office building, and your main objective is to go through the entire level, flip every table, and avoid the security guards, which keep you moving throughout the level. And here's a quick gameplay demo. It's recorded today.
You gotta love flipping.
It's beautiful, isn't it? All right. Now we're going to start with the development team. Starting off with me, I am Jared King, the project lead, of course. I handled mostly 3D assets and generally bossing people around, making sure that the game got finished. An example of 3D modeling is the human model that you see throughout the entire game. And basically what I did is I went through Blender, I started modeling it, which is the leftmost image right there. Then when I finished it, which is the middle model, I made a texture for it and applied it to the model itself, which is the right image. And I'm going to hand it off to Liam Heatherly.
Hello, my name's Liam Heatherly. I did the UV textures for Table Flip Simulator. I've never done UV textures before, so this was completely new to me. My assignment was basically to create some office workers, or the textures for them, in some varying colors. And the programs I used were Photoshop and Blender. And if you don't know what a UV is, like I didn't when I started this, it's basically, the UV texture is what goes around the blank model and gives it color and makes it look more realistic. On the left side, the top left, you got what I started with basically, which is the UV layout, and then I painted on top of it with the brush in Photoshop, paintbrush in Photoshop. And on the far right, you can see the final product and what it looked like. So, next, I'll pass it on to Alex.
Hello everybody, I'm Alexander Elderbroom, and I worked on the 3D animations and some of the menu concepts for Table Flip. The 3D animations were done using a free Adobe product called Mixamo. It's an online service, and you can download these animations and then implement them into Unity through a Unity FBX file. Essentially, what I did is I used Unity's built-in animator component and assigned the animations that I used that were free and to a controller, and then set triggers for the controller. So like if the guard, for example, would take a left turn, it would trigger a left strafing animation or a right strafing animation, depending on what it was doing. And then for the Unity menus, I basically came up with a concept of what it should look like, then we implemented that. There's some examples. I'm going to pass it off to Katie.
Hello again, my name is Caden Cole, and I worked on the level layout for this here game. Lighting not included, sadly. However, I took a bunch of cubes and I made it look like an office, and I also took elements from Jared, Tegan, and even Alex, and I put it all into Unity. And then here's a gallery of what the level looks like in the editor and just some screenshots. This is what the game would have looked like with lighting. It would have had some cool shadows, and there's various elements and models that we'll get to. There's computers, there's chairs, and the most terrible thing in the game, the tables. So I will hand it off to Tegan. Or no, Joe.
So, I'm Joe. So on this project, I was the lead programmer. Essentially what I did was take the XR scripts, which are an open package for doing VR in Unity, and I used those to make it so the player would work. Additionally, I had to do a lot of settings tweaks to make it so that way things would interact properly with colliders and such, so that way you would have physics that seemed realistic, as opposed to your hand moving through a wall or you moving through a wall or anything of that regard. I also set up a Git repository for this project to maintain that as well. And here's some examples of some of the code I wrote specifically for controlling the how many tables would be in the stage. So what it would do is figure out how many tables are in the stage and then display it on the screens around the world. And I believe the other code is the main menu code, which is also very simple.
Come on. There we go.
I'm taking this online. I was the 3D modeler for this project. I made almost every human model. So I made all of the objects, so like doors, monitors, the tables, and stuff on the tables. And I also applied textures to all the models that I made. This is sort of my process. I would get a request for something, usually from Jared. Then I would go online, and if I could, I would find a frame of reference to work off of. Sometimes I had to eyeball it. Then I would make the base model, and then I would apply textures to it. And then I would ship it off, and then they would put it into the game. Next up is Zachary Johnson.
Hi, it's me again. So I didn't work too much on this project, but I made the Asdol logo that you see proudly plastered everywhere in the building. And I also made a trailer to kind of give more life to the game per Jared's request, and it's also displayed on Kyle's website. I think we're going to play it, right?
Sure.
Jonathan John Varius V, or John John for short, was a simple, loving man and a great father. John John worked at the world's one and only table manufacturer, Asdol Corporation, becoming their best and most selfless worker, even going out of his way to place experimental tables in his home. John John left his home state of Washington, Idaho, for the mysterious Ohio void, in search of milk as his home had run out. Once he returned from his trip, to John John's dismay, his family was gone. When John John confronted Asdol, they informed him that his family were now captives of the company. Now, John John is faced with only one option: to force Aztal to give his family back by any means necessary. Thankfully, John knows of one weakness in the tables. Should a table be flipped, it will instantaneously dematerialize. Aided by his close allies, a few Buffalo Buffs fans, and Gary, keeper of the Time Cube trademark, John wages his personal war on Aztal in hopes that he will one day reunite with his family.
It's not done yet. It's not done yet.
So all that was done in Clip Studio Paint with the pen tablet I brought up earlier, and I'm going to hand it off to the website designer.
Hi, I'm Kyle Weissar. I was the co-lead on this project. I did a good amount of things here. I helped a lot early on when we were talking about what we wanted the game to be. Obviously, just doing a game just of flipping tables is cool, but why not give it a crazy story to add some life to it, right? So besides that, I built a companion website to go with it. This website tells you about some of the features of the game, talks a little bit about Capstone, as well as has more about the crazy story of John and rescuing his family from Aztal. This website was built from the ground up using Microsoft Visual Studio Code, as well as being made out of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I also created some assets using Adobe Illustrator. So here's a picture of some of the code on the left, and on the right you can see a GIF of one of the interactables on the website. You can press a button to flip a table, kind of like in the game.
Next one. Oh, next one?
Yeah. This is some of the graphics that I designed for the game using Adobe Illustrator.
And that is all. I'll open up to questions. Yeah.
You ever get seizures looking into a 3D screen?
No, we didn't we didn't have any seizures testing out the game at all.
Did you throw up?
No, we did not throw up.
Why was there no lighting included?
I can answer that. It's because it was lagging the game, and if you wanted to maybe run the game at a PowerPoint like this one, then we would have kept the lighting in.
Yeah.
You want to have a high frame rate with IVR, or else you get sick.
Go ahead.
What would you have done with the Time Cube framework?
I had an idea later into development that it would have just been like a floating cube that you would have collected in the level, and it would have just slowed down time, and you would be able to freely go throughout the level and flip some tables and slow down time for a period of time.
What
Yes.
does the flipping cops look like? 'Cause I didn't get that far. I just got to the point where people were standing like across.
So if I can go to this real quick. So the cops are these fine two gentlemen on the side of the website here. I made those models. Yes.
When you showed the video, it had like desks and everything. I only got the picnic tables. Did I not get to the right level to have all those fancy desks?
There was an inside of the office that did have desks.
I saw that.
Yeah, you need to go inside the building.
Yes.
I couldn't find it.
That's fine.
Play it again. Thank you. Thank you.
Any more? One more?
Download this game off like
I'm going to be putting it on a website called itch.io. I will give Jared a link to that to distribute that around.
Yes. And you would need a Oculus headset for that to work, by the way. Is that all?
Yep.
So up next is Room 2420 by Nick Gary.
Hello, I'm Nick Awary. I'm the lead of 2420. I'll let my co-leads introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Shay Carr.
And I'm Alexander Elderbroom.
Alright. So if you don't know what Room 2420 is, it basically started back in 2019 as a mockumentary series. And it basically parodies The Office, other sitcoms like Parks and Rec. But yeah. Before we start, how many people have seen it? That's a good number. We do have a recap of the show, just so everybody's caught up.
Previously on Route 2420.
Yeah, so this year's actually really unique. We started a new numbering for it. It's called CSC/DIG 256, and it's Team Capstone projects. So we actually are now integrating game programming and design, new media, web and mobile development, and we're getting together, and everyone has to pitch projects. And as a class, we'll all work on those projects for an end goal of a public presentation of whichever projects were developed.
Honestly, I'm hyped for this class.
Kyle, what are you doing here?
He's talking about NFTs? I would like to present to everybody Paul Engins.
What the
Woo! Let's go! Yes! I want you to be my co-lead.
Well, the second project that was picked is going to be Jared's visual mixtape project. So.
Yes! Woo! Wait, where did they go?
You cannot begin to understand the polarizing perpendicularity of my songs.
Hey, Paul, I saw on your Facebook profile you have a kid, right?
I thought I set that to private. I don't know if you saw anything, but
Yeah, sabotage, yeah.
Well, look, these projects are not great.
Yep.
If you get a chance to destroy it all, you know what to do, right?
I'm Jared. He sucks. No, you suck. That's it. No, you suck. No, you suck.
I think they're stupider than Kyle.
I think my game is just about done. Do you want to give it a go?
What? What? You know, Kyle, this seems a lot like my actual house. Wait, what was that?
Oh, I just got my hacker friend to listen to your conversations just so I can get an accurate sense of your surroundings and your home and what it sounds like. Yeah, I'm not sure about the legality here, but I don't think I can be criminally indicted if you
Wait. Stop. You spied on me?
Wait, well, no, I mean, not really. All I did was sneak into your car, wait until nightfall, get into your house, get a detailed layout of all your surroundings, and then call my dad to pick me up.
You need to destroy it. You need to destroy it all.
Yeah, it was super weird.
I'm gonna go make a masterpiece and I'm gonna rub it in that jerk's face.
No, I'm gonna rub it in your face. You freaking loser who doesn't like the complete saga.
Oh, the complete saga.
Yes, the best game of all time.
Delete. What's one down, one to go. Hey Kyle.
What's up, dude?
You did good, man.
Thanks, man. I'm glad you liked it. I'll see you later.
Yeah, see you, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
Wait for the cast to get up here. So in terms of directing for us, me and my co-leads, we set a schedule, set a timeline in the beginning. We didn't really follow it, but it still worked out pretty well. As you can see, around spring break, it got pretty hectic. We assembled the cast and crew. All of us were camera operators, so we all had taking parts in production, and we basically got everybody together on Discord and organized when we would shoot, where we would shoot, stuff like that. I'll hand it off to Kyle here.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm the star of the show, as well as played a part in the script writing. In fact, every single person you see up here right now played a part in the script writing. We used Google Docs as well as Discord to communicate. We would write an initial script and then throw it into the Discord and the Google Doc, and when people got to it, they'd give their feedback, they could go in and change it. I can tell you right now that none of the episodes turned out exactly as it was written, whether it be through people changing it, even during the filming, improv and scenes, it just kind of worked out that we decided to keep. You'll see there's a lot, and I mean a lot of bloopers. So yeah, everybody played a part in writing this show.
I'm Shay Carr. As well as being a co-lead, I also was one of the camera operators. And since all of us camera operators were also, the lead and co-leads, we incorporated this job into, our roles as directors. So we initially started off with just one camera. And we realized halfway through episode 1 that didn't really work out. We were panning way too quickly and stuff, and it was very, a little bit messy. So we eventually moved over to 2 cameras, and that ended up working out pretty well. Aside from that, we also had problems with lighting and focus and stuff. But we eventually fixed that over time. You'll notice in episode 5, if you have watched the first episode and you compare it to this final one, there's a very big improvement. My job also as a camera operator was to manually set up both cameras every day we filmed. And we used Panasonic camcorders that recorded in 4K. Next up is Alex with audio operation.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alexander Elderbroom, and besides being a co-director, I also did all the audio operation along with Liam. In the first episode, we were using wireless microphones and shotgun microphones that are built into the cameras. Well, they're not built in, but they're external, but they're kind of like the run-of-the-mill, basic microphone. We then, after realizing that we had issues with audio quality, wind, noise, breathing especially, we decided to switch over to a boom operation. There's me operating it in those 2 photos. But this allowed us to control our gain, allowed us to equalize all of our levels, and allowed us to isolate a lot of background noise. And then, I'm going to hand it off to, who's next? Zachary.
Hi, I'm Zach again, and I was the editor for Boom 2420, among other things. Originally, my main responsibility was just assembling the videos, fixing audio levels, lighting, the normal stuff. But other responsibilities I had was organization and Dropbox. We had a really fun habit where we would just plop everything in the Dropbox, and it was very unorganized. So I decided to organize it with different takes for each episode and whatnot. I edited it in Adobe Premiere. And down here is actually just the timeline of one of the episodes. You can see it's kind of complicated. There's a lot of stuff going on. And yeah.
I'm going to hand it off to
me. So, in the beginning of the season, we didn't really have any method of selecting the characters. But I did put out a Google form asking, which Office character did you relate to the most? We didn't really get that many solid answers. Everybody wanted to be Kevin for some reason. I don't know why. But we just went along and we selected people, to each their own role. So starting with Paul. Paul was our Michael Scott. He was our head honcho. Kyle, very loud, very outgoing. He is our main character, yes. Isaiah is perfect for his role because he is my Dwight Schrute. Yes. And then Zach's just chill, and if you know, he sabotages the project, so he's just there. He doesn't care about the class. Then Jared likes to fight, so Yep, him and Isaiah always at it, every episode. Then there's Liam. I literally do not know what to say about him. He's there. He's there in every episode also. But yeah, that's how we went about with our cast.
Alright, I'm Isaiah Smith. In addition to co-starring in the series and apparently looking like Dwight from The Office, I manage the social media. So we made an Instagram page because we felt like that was the best way to promote it. I mostly just posted memes with various announcements, like episode 4 is going to come out on a certain date, like you see on the bottom left image there, various memes and whatever. And then by the time episode 3 rolled around, we would reveal that Paul is sabotaging the project and Zach is going to come along with him. So I made a little social media campaign based on when Captain America Civil War came out. Everyone was like Team Captain America or Team Iron Man and whatnot. I've got a little video explaining it, I think pretty well.
What's up, guys? This is Isaiah from 2020. You know, that weirdo. Anyway, if you've seen our latest episode, you know some crazy stuff happened. I'll give you 2 seconds to click off the video in case you haven't seen it. 1, 2. So anyway, if you've seen it, you know that Paul is going to sabotage the project and Zach is going to come along with him. However, I think Paul's got a point. This program is going to have certification ruined by this project. However, these students deserve to graduate and they might have a shot. So, do you agree with Paul? Do you not agree with Paul? Let us know. On your preferred social media platform, send out either hashtag Capstone or hashtag let us know what you think and show all the episodes to your friends. Episode 4 is going to be dropping April 29th. We look forward to seeing that. And my songs are better than yours.
Shots fired, Jared. What you gonna do about it? So yeah, so we also have something fun planned for you guys. Team Sabotage won on the Instagram poll, but we want you guys to participate as well. So if you scan this QR code, it'll take you to a poll where you can vote on whether you're hashtag Team Capstone or hashtag Team Sabotage. After that, I'm gonna hand it off to Nick. We got a little surprise for you.
Hold on, give everyone a second to do this.
Yeah, I'll give you like a minute. Maybe more.
Team Sabotage or Team Capstone? I think we already know the answer.
Yeah.
Oh wait, maybe I should scan it too.
Team Sabotage.
You don't get the vote.
Team Capstone.
Come on.
Come on, man. Team Sabotage. Let's see if I can vote.
Are we about to start a war?
Maybe.
Alright, we're good.
Alright. So yeah. Looks like Capstone did win on this, but
What?
Capstone won? Awesome.
we have 7 votes for Capstone and 6 for Sabotage. So I guess you guys are some good people.
Let me just say right now, I was very upset about the initial results, so that makes me very happy. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Never mind.
And this is going to be episode 5 of Room 2420, season 3.
So did you do it? Yeah. What did it take?
Really not that much. It was like 2 minutes of my time.
Do they know it was you?
I don't think so.
You know, to be honest, I was okay with the Pauling simulator. Apprehensive, but okay. But then Kyle began to ask too many questions. Too many questions about who I was. He's gone too far. He knows too much. Our adversaries are in a disarray. When they find out, and they will find out, we will have to face an unspeakable wrath.
Okay.
wrong with you?
What happened to the files?
What do you mean?
You deleted the files.
You deleted my files. My files are gone.
Don't pin this on me.
Oh, come here.
It wasn't either of you.
Wait.
Did you do this? No, it wasn't me. It was Zach.
Who's Zach?
You remember the guy that walked in here yesterday?
Dude, there's like a million people who come in and out.
The guy with the funny hair?
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's got a deeper voice or whatever.
He destroyed all of your work, and he's working for the enemy.
He's gonna die!
So, how's the rest of it coming? You have any textures set in place?
I haven't really got to that yet. I've been really busy. Do you think you could get some stuff?
Yeah, so I lied to Paul. I couldn't do it. Like, Kyle's a creepy dude for following Paul home, but he's a harmless dude. You know, I don't think he could harm anyone. Strictly physically speaking, he killed my soul a long time ago. So.
What about Jared and Isaiah's projects?
Oh yeah, that's completely gone. I don't give a about them.
I don't remember where I put the sound files for Paul's dog.
Did you check the trash bin?
Yeah, it wasn't in there. Just some paper and coffee grains.
The one on your computer.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me see here. Oh, there they are. I found them.
You! Oh. Get him! No.
Whoa, hey, calm down. What's going on here?
He deleted my files. All of my masterpieces are gone.
My masterpieces are gone too.
We can live without yours. Here we talk.
Wait, do you have proof of this?
Yeah. Liam told us. He saw the whole thing.
How do you know Liam didn't delete them?
You know what? Did you guys back it up?
Crap.
Flash drive?
I forgot to get the drive.
Guys, get out of here and go fix it. What? Kyle, is that
What?
the Pauling Simulator?
Yeah, it is, Paul. I'm playing this new level I made where you battle the aliens that abducted you. It's kind of the greatest game ever.
Zach, my office. Now. Yep.
You'll never take me alive, aliens. I'm Paul Engen.
We captured lightning in a bottle, man. I don't know if we can recreate that.
All's lost. We're done. We're gonna fail.
Nuh-uh.
You made a backup?
No. I made 9 high-quality songs.
Oh my gosh, Liam, thank you. You saved us.
I appreciate it, man, but I don't think it's gonna be the same.
No, just listen.
Oh my goodness.
It's impossible.
Impossibly perfect, yo.
Only I could have inspired such perfection.
No, only I could have.
No, I could have.
No, only I could have.
Cut it out, guys. You're both great mixers. You both inspired me to do this. You inspire me every day. Because together, we are unstoppable. That's why if we release this, I have one condition. It has to be under all of our names. Are you guys cool with that?
I can be cool with that.
I can be too.
You lied to me.
Look, I can explain.
No. I trusted you. You said you were going to get rid of it.
And I was going to.
Yeah,
Paul.
But do you see the problem? He hacked into my Alexa, broke into my home. Do you see the issue with that?
Yeah, Paul, listen, man.
No, we were on the same page. You were going to destroy it. I trusted you.
Paul! Listen to me, okay? I was going to, but Kyle, for whatever reason, he looks up to you. And yes, he's a creepy little dork, but he didn't hurt you or anything, and he's not a bad person. So I just couldn't do it to him. I'm sorry.
I completely see where you're coming from, and it really only leaves me with one option.
Okay.
That you immediately fail.
What?
Now get out.
Guess I'm retaking this class. Screw it, I'm just gonna drop out.
So, Paul wanted to sabotage me.
Yeah, I was gonna do it too, but I need to be crushed, so.
Well, thanks, man.
Hey, come on, let's go make Pauling and Sumo the best they can be just to spite him.
Well, I still like him a little bit, but for your
Yeah,
sake,
yeah, yeah,
let's
yeah.
go.
So the projects are probably not going to be the.
Paul,
Yeah. What's going
can we
on?
talk for a second?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. You guys, all right? Yeah. What's up, Jeff?
So the higher ups heard that you sabotaged the capstone.
Well, you should have seen the projects. They're really bad.
Well, we understand that, but it's not the instructor's responsibility to sabotage their students. So it's time for you to go. You're fired
Now?
right now.
Well, can I at least get my laptop?
Oh, no.
I haven't deleted anything yet.
Oh yeah, we know. Yeah, can't wait to look at that. Let's go.
But
Yeah, let's go.
What just happened? I have no idea. Do we still pass the class?
I think we pass the class if the teacher gets fired.
We do?
Yeah!
For the record, though, your projects were awful. Come on. Give me that equipment. You never signed out before. You filled out the form. Enough. Done. No more.
Did you guys like it? To be honest with you, I was skeptical about this whole thing, but I thought it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, I think it had a nice message.
Sure. I mean, you could probably compete with Marvel with that. It was basically Into the Spider-Verse.
Why'd you make me so obsessed with Paul? So, do you guys want to go look at the other projects then?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
Sure.
sounds fun.
Yeah, let's go.
Paper clipping simulator, baby.
With my favorite Buffalo team. So Jeff, why are we getting this?
It's just for the end credits.
How long are the credits?
I don't know how many people were in it.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a long walk.
If there was one thing you could improve on, what would you improve?
Improve on? I don't know. We did a really good job, I think, but I don't know. Kyle and Zach came up with a great ending. I don't know. It's just.
I think one thing that would have been cool is if we had maybe a slightly bigger cast and maybe we're able to fit in time to do maybe 1 or 2 more episodes. Because, I mean, it's 5 episodes, it's a good amount of content, but it would have been really nice to maybe have a little more going on in between.
How do you guys find times to film shootings when people weren't walking around?
I have an answer to that. I was in one of their shots.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got lucky, sometimes there's people in the background. We went with it. It adds some life to it.
Yeah.
Whose idea was it to get the office theme? Like, you all picked the theme from it, or was it one person?
I pitched the idea with that idea, but yeah, we just built it around that.
Good idea. Fun show.
Be all right.
Oh, yep. And we have the blooper reel.
Sit down for this one as well.
Time to sit down. Okay, Nick, have fun.
We could do that.
Yeah.
So I just have to say,
Cloverfield.
that's a big monster.
Yeah, then I turn and say thanks and like.
You call me princess and expect me to keep a straight face.
You'll never live it down.
Okay.
For all your days.
Keep on saying that, Isaiah.
So are we ready? Do we know what we're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I think that's what
So crisp in 4K.
Very quick.
Help me. I've been trapped by Liam Heatherly. Please help.
Zach.
Decent bush war. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up.
Ow! Oh, it's fine.
We're gonna get like campus police. Like, what are you guys doing? I love Paul Engen. He's my favorite teacher.
Oh, love Paul Engen.
What is wrong with you?
Dude, I'm fine. I'm fine.
That was such a violent fall.
Dude,
I mean, I wasn't even like.
Do you like jazz?
He has so much help.
You like jazz?
So much.
You like jazz?
I love jazz.
Can I help you?
Did you know the Star Wars version of jazz?
According to all known laws of
So I guess he's actually doing a project about me.
I liked it.
LinkedIn, why do you ask?
I didn't see it on this one.
Man, I got abducted by Spaceballs last night. So, I just figured.
Put it in comic
Seriously, dude?
say Plumbo
That's tight.
I got probed, dude.
That's.
That's
That's tight as dude.
It is, I know.
Oh my goodness.
Oh god. This is double.
We can keep that as an option, I guess.
I totally.
And I figured this one didn't. And then I was like, wait a minute. What if the show is the project?
for a minute?
Yeah, give me 1 second, you guys, okay? Yeah, what's going on?
So the higher ups found out that you were sabotaging the Capstone projects. I need to get new batteries.
Oh
installed
no.
because
Let's do that again. Hey, I don't know what I'm supposed to do after this.
Yeah, it is, yeah. It came with 2 of them,
It's a sandwich.
Yo, this sucks.
I'm Paul Engen.
Pressing something weird, like weird shit.
I'm driving a car. I can do that. Like I could like
Do it.
sitting there.
We can talk over this. It's gonna be heated up.
Yeah, he's like playing GTA 5.
So we got the.
What's his progress looking like? Unfortunately, he wasn't headbanging.
This is on?
Yeah. Do you want to move that over just if there's audio?
Oh, what is happening?
This is. I think there was some lightsaber battles that they wanted.
Paul was gonna be an alien, actually be an alien at one point. We toned it down quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, there was lightsaber battles.
Yeah. But I did want to say congratulations to all the Capstone students. You guys really pulled it through. I know at the end it was a little stressful to try to put it all together, but overall you did a fantastic job, and thank you all for coming and being a part of this. So enjoy the rest of your night, and congratulations, Capstone Spring 2022. Yeah.
If you're fired, then the series has to be canceled.
That's right. That's why it was Inception. It was like, if you want to play the VR game, they can set it up for you.
It's up here.
That's right here. It's right there. Kyle,
I just wanted
can you set up the VR for him?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he wants to try it out? Thank you.
I'll see you for this weekend.